segue into this. The only
Yeah,
thing that we can speak good about in Chelsea right now is this guy, Cole Palmer. And let me start with Damini. Is Cole Palmer the real deal?
Um, I'm not sure yet. And the reason why I say I'm not sure is two things. Number one, I believe Pep is one of those people where even if he doesn't have use for you at that particular moment, if he feels that there's something inside that is very, very hot, he'll find a way to hold on to you. Except there's a fallout, like Cancelo.
Yaya Toure.
So the fact that Pep let him go, I would always question that because I think Pep is one of those coaches where he has a good sense of judgment. I'll give him that. And I'm not trying to sound biased or something. So that's my first issue. My second issue is what Chima mentioned, where Chelsea has a very long list of injuries. If I see a healthy Chelsea squad that are competing with each other for positions, because the position that Cole Palmer plays in and the other positions he can play in, there's a lot of competition in those parts. There are almost like four to five players that can play that exact same thing he's doing. And, you know, one of the players that Chelsea has that I really like is that Madueke boy. Forget that he has Nigerian roots. So maybe I'm a bit biased, but let's forget that. But you see, one thing I like about Madueke, he's direct. He doesn't mess around, he doesn't dance, he doesn't do all that nonsense. He just goes direct. It's not like Doku. I don't know what Doku does have all the time. But Noni is very, very direct. And the fact that someone like Palmer still has more game time than Madueke, there are obviously things that I don't see in training that Palmer can do. He's also English, but again, Noni is also English as well. So I'm not sure it's the real deal. I'm not sure yet, but there's definitely something there. There's definitely something there. I was telling somebody that he reminds me a lot of Di Maria in a way. He can just disappear and appear in very small patches and just cause chaos. The same way Di Maria used to be. The exact same way.
in addition to what you're saying, Cole Palmer, yeah, I wouldn't say he's the real deal because first, I don't think there is serious competition for his position in club. Truthfully, because I know if we have a complete squad with less amount of injuries, the competition will be tight, which means everybody will have to step up to get game time. But I wouldn't rule out the fact that Cole Palmer has been the most influential player in Chelsea Football Club. Why am I saying so? He's direct. He's a player who has an understanding of getting a goal. Before he left Manchester City, let me go back to what Damien was saying. Before he left Manchester City, it's not like he wouldn't make the squad, but he would just know he wouldn't make the first team. He would only be discovered that somebody like him, his potentials will be buried being a squad player. So that is why he had to take that move to Chelsea. Now, having a Cole Palmer, I remember what competition did they play that Cole Palmer scored the only goal, and was it
the Cotton Razor against Arsenal?
Community Shield or something.
He came in
against Arsenal. Yeah, I think Cole Palmer scored in that game, and
bro, from nothing, by the way. He scored from nothing. The goal just appeared.
Exactly. So he's even in the Manchester City team, he's actually a good player. But the problem he had was that he would need to be an understudy to somebody, or probably so he has to understudy somebody, which I don't think at the level he wants to build for himself. He wants to remain there at age 21. See Phil Foden. Phil Foden was actually is the person that every young player is actually looking up to, who can actually get game time and remain integral in the starting 11. But Pep saw that this guy will find it difficult. He will only come in as the new guy they have there, Bob, or what's his name? The young lad.
Louis.
Yeah. Also, he also comes in. So that would have been the place of Palmer, if I'm not mistaken. So him leaving to Chelsea actually did better for him. It did better for him. So as he's the golden boy of Chelsea this season. You cannot take that away. 16 goals and 8 assists. It's not for a 21-year-old. Bro, it's good. It's a good one. But I hope that's
we could flip it this way, or I can flip it this way. And I hear what both of you have said. While he was in Man City, he couldn't break into the first squad. He had to, be the study guide, or he has to study a certain player in front of him. He was behind the pecking order. He had to leave.
Yeah.
The potential is there. And Damini mentioned something about Pep letting a player go. That means there's something he's not saying. But I think that's a notion I would like to disagree with, because all of us seems to laud Pep like he's the alpha and the omega. He's infallible. He can't make a mistake. No, Pep can.
Yeah.
I respect your opinion, but I just
definitely.
I think Palmer just had to let Pep know that, man, F it, I can't stay anymore. I know you have a plan for me. I know there's a pipeline for me to get into the first team, but no, I can't keep wasting my time here. And the Chelsea deal came, and he took it. What if it was another team that came for him? Would he have gone? But I'm sure he had done his own analysis, seen the prospects or the project Chelsea, the face Chelsea is at the moment. And if he was okay, let me go into this team, a team of young guys, where I can be the leader or the person who the team is built around. If you look at it, Cole Palmer seems to be an alpha male. The kind of guy that will want to go into somewhere and want to be the leader. And I saw one funny meme where it was a picture. Pochettino was pushing Chelsea backward. Cole Palmer alone single-handedly was pushing Chelsea forward. And he has taken the responsibility. He has. So, and you can see his stats, his XG, 16 goals, 8 assists, 24 contribution. He's 2 goals behind the Lord and Savior in goal scoring in EPL. Haaland. Despite Haaland missing out for 2 months.
Let me not start a fire. It's okay.
Because really, I'm trying to make an argument to say this guy could be the real deal. Now, Okpa mentioned something on the WhatsApp group. Imagine if Man City didn't let Palmer go. The 16 goals would be automatically added, hypothetically, to Man City right now. And that's fire. Man City will be like how many points ahead of Liverpool and Arsenal? So I don't want to agree. I know I've heard these statements where they say there's something Pep didn't see in him. No, Pep. I'm sure Pep will be scratching his head right now that did I get this right or did I get this wrong? This guy has the fire. I shouldn't have let him go.
No, listening.
I don't think it's Pep. I don't think it's from the Pep angle. So the Pep angle is just initially me seeing it as a City fan. But for me, I feel like in a healthy squad. So okay, let me give you names. So when in a healthy squad, you have Cole Palmer, you have Noni, you have Raheem Sterling, you have Nkunku, you have Ugochukwu, you have Michael Jackson, you have Broha or Broja, you have Modric. In a healthy squad, full healthy squad, there is so much that will be happening behind the scenes that everybody has to put in a show week in, week out in training. There's something that Chima mentioned earlier. The way Chelsea is currently set up, anything that Chelsea goes through at the moment, you can't necessarily blame somebody. It's just that there must be a manager, so you must have somebody to shoot, which would be, in this case, Pochettino. But in a full healthy squad, week in, week out, would Palmer be getting these chances to play the position he's playing? No. Nkunku would have pushed him left and right. Because Nkunku is the star boy that Chelsea had hopes for this season. Sadly, it didn't work out. So it's all those little things where now we can have this position because of what he's done. If that did not happen, would he be here today? I'm not sure. I don't see Cole Palmer doing what Saka does in Arsenal. I don't see him going to another top. Let me tell you how crazy it is. I don't want to see him going to Tottenham and getting these goals and starting and playing this well for Tottenham. Maybe Villa, but definitely not one of the top 3. He's not going to Arsenal to do this. City let him go. He's not doing his Salah. He's not. So as much as we're hyping him, if we begin to put him against people that do this on a regular basis, the closest person to him is Saka, and he's miles behind Saka.
So let me.
Miles.
Yeah.
So in a healthy team, I question it. But again, let's see.
Chimamaka, I want you to address this. I want you to address this. Hold on. Let me anchor you in.
Okay.
Damini mentioned something. He brought in the Saka narrative, and I've seen on social media today, Cole Palmer being compared with Bukayo Saka, Cole Palmer being compared with Foden,
Rubbish.
Cole Palmer being compared with Jude Bellingham.
Another rubbish.
And for me, I just like to put context into things. You could argue, Chelsea fans could argue that Cole Palmer is performing better than Saka. They shouldn't come with the argument of saying he is better than Saka, because you know why? Saka has done it in 4.5 seasons. He has shown us consistency, but Cole Palmer is just breaking in. This is breaking season. But do you agree with all the comparison floating around, comparing Cole Palmer with these players I've mentioned?
Okay, if you know me well, I don't get into comparisons. Why? Because I'm a realist. Why am I saying this? Saka has done 4 straight seasons, so I wouldn't compare Cole Palmer in his first season to Bukayo Saka. No, I would only rate Cole Palmer in the next 2-3 years if he's been consistent over the next 2-3 years. Because he had a breakout season. How many players have had breakout season at the end? We don't see them after the first breakout season. How about if there's an injury problem and he cannot continue? So what are we going to say? So I don't bring about such comparisons. Yeah, Chelsea is a Chelsea that is dragging, that is struggling, and Cole Palmer happens to be the shining light in that struggling Chelsea team. Let's not forget we had a season wherein Willian was the shining light in a struggling Chelsea squad. I don't know if you understand. So I wouldn't rate Cole Palmer at 21 in the midst of 21-year-old and 22 and 23-year-old players who decides to be the shining light. If he does this next season and next 2 seasons, then we can start having this conversation. So in comparisons, no, he stands nowhere near those guys. Phil Foden has been so consistent. Phil Foden has been so consistent. Foden has 2 goals less.
That's not even the regular starter.
Exactly, has 2 goals less than him this season. So you only compare. It's not going to be about the first season wonder. No, it's not. We are not looking for anything that is first season. Do it second, do it third, do it fourth. Like now, we all celebrate Hazard today. Hazard spent 7 years in Chelsea, and for 6.5 years he was consistent. That's where you say, yeah, this is somebody who has been consistent. He was a threat in the full Premier League. So Cole Palmer has just done his first season. Let us wait till he does his 3rd season, and we'll start having this conversation about comparison. Bukayo Saka is miles ahead of him. Phil Foden is miles ahead of him. Jude Bellingham, I wouldn't talk about Jude Bellingham now until after the 3rd season in Real Madrid. I'm also on that table too. So I wouldn't know. Not first season wonders. Take me to the 3rd season first.
Fair enough. But for me, the potential is there. And if you could work with a manager that can turn him into a world beater, the sky is his limit, or the sky is just a starting point. The potential is there. You could see it. He has the energy, he has the knack to take responsibility, and like right now he is the shining light in Chelsea and is the one dragging Chelsea. If Chelsea miraculously makes a European spot, I think Cole Palmer undoubtedly will win the player of the season for Chelsea. Will win.
At the moment, he's winning player of the season for Chelsea.
There's no argument.
There's nobody there to drag you with.
At the moment, there's no.
It is on the list. On the list is Cole Palmer 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Before you pick the second place. So it's just
so on that.